Gonna build a mountain from a little hill. Gonna build a mountain, I hope I will. Gonna build a mountain, gonna build it high. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, I only know I'm gonna try.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of Planet Zoo Creations. Today we're going to be doing the African buffalo. So let's get into the general information of the animal first, then we're going to get over to the build, and at the end of the video there will be a montage of the animal in the habitat. So let's, without further ado, let's get right into this. So the general information of the African buffalo, or the Syncerus kaffer is a near threatened species with a population in the wild of 830,000. Living throughout sub-Saharan Africa, the African buffalo, or Syncerus kaffer is the largest member of the cow family Bovids. Found in the African wild, they are typically between 1.7 and 3.4 meters in length, measure 1 to 1.7 meters tall, and are identifiable by their distinctive horns, which are broad, curved, and unite in a boss in the center of their forehead. The dominant male in a herd will often have the largest horns. Although the species is not endangered, African buffalo are still threatened by human activity. Illegal trophy hunting is a regular occurrence, and their grazing lands are being transformed, either turned into farmland or built on by humans. African buffalo can also contract diseases that are spread by domestic livestock and are as well vulnerable to drought conditions. They are protected in many areas that are assigned as national parks and nature reserves, which sustainable hunting occurs in legal managed zones. Natural habitat: continents Africa, regions sub-Saharan Africa, biomes grassland, tropical, and aquatic. Minimum habitat requirements for one adult is 420 square meters. They do not need a climbing requirement, but however they do need water requirement, 20 square meters of water. They do not need deep water requirement, and they need a temperature requirement of a minimum of 16 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 40 degrees Celsius. They need a grade 3 fence that is higher than 1.25 meters. Species data. Social needs. African buffalo live in herds composed of many groups of related females, with groups of bachelor males and solitary dominant males existing on the periphery. A herd can be made up of multiple of these groups. Reproduction. African buffalo mate year-round. A male will track females for signs of oestrus, and upon finding a receptive partner, he will defend her from rival males until he is able to mate with her. The males with higher dominance are more likely to successfully guard and mate. An African buffalo mother's pregnancy lasts 11.5 months, and she will give birth to a single calf, which remains close to her until it is between 1 and 2 years old. At this age, males will leave and join a bachelor herd, whereas females will remain with their mothers. Alright, social group size excluding juveniles, 3 up to 15, up to 1 male, up to 14 females. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna pick 8 African buffaloes, 1 male, 7 females. I always take the half of it a little bit. Alright, male bachelor group size including juveniles, 3 up to 5. Female bachelor group size including juveniles, 3 up to 15. Dominant male bull, female herds with age-based dominance. Mating system promiscuous. Maturation rules matrilineal. Mature males related to alpha become outsiders. Relation with humans neutral. Guest interaction. Guest flee from an African buffalo. Averages. Size. For both a male and a female African buffalo, the average size is 1.50 meters tall at shoulder. The life expectancy for an African buffalo for a male and a female is both 22 years old, and the weight for an African buffalo, for a male, the average weight is 680 kilograms, and for the female African buffaloes, that will be 580 kilograms. And if you want to read the life cycle, go ahead. Research status. Fun fact 1. The African buffalo is one of the most dangerous animals in Africa, killing 200 people a year. Yeah, these animals are really underestimated. If you go near them too close, then you could end up being a prey for them, and they're not gonna eat you or anything. They're just gonna kill you down or hurt you severely because you were maybe in their eyes a threat to a calf or a female. So these are definitely dangerous animals. Africa has some animals that we all know and underestimate, like the hippo, for example, is also one that really kills a lot of people. Fun fact 2. Unlike other bovid species, the African buffalo is immune to sleeping sickness, a deadly disease transmitted by the tsetse fly. Fun fact 3. African buffalo have excellent memories and have been known to make vengeful attacks against lions and hunters that have targeted their herd in the past, especially if a calf has been injured. Especially what I meant with saying if you go and like threaten a calf, that will be definitely a bad situation for you. Fun fact 4. Due to the aggressive nature of the buffalo, all attempts at domestication as a livestock animal have failed. Fun fact 5. African buffalo have a symbiotic relationship with a species of bird called the oxpecker that removes ticks from their skin. And then the interspecies enrichments. This species can be enriched living together in a habitat with, are you ready? It's a lot of names. The black wildebeest, the blue wildebeest, the common ostrich, the common warthog, Nile lechwe, plains zebra, red river hawk, reticulated giraffe, sable antelope, scimitar horned oryx, southern white rhinoceros, springbok, and Thompson's gazelle. Alright, without further ado, so we're gonna get 8 of them. So we need a land requirement of 1050 square meters and a water requirement of 90 square meters. Without further ado, let's get into this build right away. Okay, a grade 3 fence. I'll just pick maybe thick glass. There we go. I don't know how big this is going to be. 1400 should be big enough. Should definitely be big enough. Okay, let's get the terrain shaped for this animal. I would say maybe we go for a savanna look, of course. I'm thinking a little bit of a hilly section over here. However, then I also do want to create a whole area water. Damn, what am I saying? Okay, first get this all. The long grass needs to go. I need to be able to see what I'm doing with this. All right, so I want to make it really look like it's a natural water source, something like that. But this is a little bit too big, I think. I don't know. Let's actually buy the animals first now. Okay, one male. I'm gonna buy you, and then that's 3. Oh, actually no. Let's buy you. 4, 5. That should be 5, right? I'm sorry, but you're getting quick traded. Yeah, if we can have a gold one, sorry guys, but then we're taking this one. So we have 5 animals right now, so 6, 7, and then 8. Okay, let's put the females on receptives. And then we're gonna select them all and move them into this enclosure. I will also be hiring a little bit more keepers for food, and maybe even a little bit more caretakers, so that when they do their job, that it's not bad. Okay, get the first African buffalo in here, please. There we go. That's perfect. Okay, how are you looking on water? Water right now is decent, however, get all of them in here, please. Risk of disease should be 0. Yeah, of course there's gonna be diseases, but of spreading. They should all be discovered pretty quickly. Foot and mouth disease, tetanus. Okay. Let's see. You're still in habitat 1. You need to be taken away immediately. Okay, that's the male, I guess. That is indeed the male. Okay, you're getting taken away first. That's good, because I want to see them all in the habitat. And then we can see how the water is. Being treated. You're treated, so you're gonna be coming back any moment now. There we go. Okay. Terrain, definitely good enough. A little bit too much water. Then I'll clear up this area. And then that will be it. I think they will also be able to swim in there. I don't know. They don't really need to swim in it. They can. Quite possibly if I decide to make it a little bit steeper over there. Let's see. Then they need to swim over here. But they can still walk and decide to swim over there. Okay, that looks perfect for the water. On terrain I wouldn't really do much more. Something like that. So now, let's go over to the terrain. Hard shelter, they do not need it. However, as we're going to see, shelter, and we're gonna go species, African buffalo, and then African shelter with dimensions. That is perfect. We're gonna place this into the corner here. They sound like cows, by the way. Which the females are actually called as well, I think. I think the females are being called cows, if I'm correct. Like that, so they can actually get into the shade, or if needed, possibly even away from the sun. That's also done now. That's perfect. They're still good on land requirement. They have a sleeping place, and then we're gonna go into the terrain. Alright. Okay, they need more short grass, of course. Get rid of all of that long. Definitely gonna have a spot with a lot of and here I do want to create like an area full of long. That looks pretty decent, I would say. Okay. Yeah, looks pretty good. what I do want to create in here is like a little passage. Filled with water. I think it will look decent. However, it's too big. It's a little bit too big. I do have to admit that. Yeah, that's decent. Okay. I don't know why they're all over there. They should be able to move all the way. I don't know why they're all in that corner. I mean, it's a herd. It's literally a herd, so they're gonna be close together. But that's really close together. Okay. Onto the coverage then. Don't know if they're actually gonna like a lot of it. So we have aquatic, grassland, and tropical. Continent Africa. They do not like too much. Okay, we're gonna need to be careful what we actually pick here then. Yeah, that's gonna be worth noting that we're gonna be needing to be very, very careful with what we choose. Let's actually go down here a little bit for this one, because this is specifically known for them. For the African savanna, in my opinion. That is underwater. Oh god. They are really loud, by the way. I was not expecting them to be this loud. I know they made a lot of noise, but this is big noise. Yeah, and then the water itself, I do want to create it maybe dirty, I guess. Yeah, let's create it dirty. That gives it a really nice because it is clean. It is clean, you know. The Everglade now. We don't want Everglade. Tropical, no. Just dirty water from Africa. Because if you look at the water from Africa, that is also dirty. So that is perfectly the water like what it needs to be. I'm also gonna need to change that in the hippo habitat. I forgot to do that, but I didn't know there was actually customization in the water until I saw a video, so that's really cool now. So let's get straight into the other coverage still. I'm not gonna place any reeds. Don't really think that that's supposed to be for them of the importance. Maybe I can just do a little bit over here. Alright, like that, nothing more. But instead I think it's maybe better to really see what kind of stuff is needed. Like, I wouldn't place too many tropical trees in here. It's not really a tropical animal, let's be honest. It really isn't. So I think these kind of trees will definitely do its job more. So yeah. Also think these will definitely, oh, what the hell, do more of a thing. Like, there we go. If needed, I'll remove some reeds, and I'm also gonna place some savanna stones if I can, like these rocks, savanna rocks. That will be perfect. A tree fan might also be pretty decent to place here. Tropical rock, we're not really gonna use that. Weeping willow, also not really for them. I feel like I want to do some more bushes and stuff. Place that a little bit, like these dried out bushes really fit for the savanna feel, I think. Like this, for example. That is perfectly what I need. I know that the coverage is too much right now. However, don't worry. I will get it fixed. Okay, that looks pretty decent. I think that looks more than decent already. However, we might need to actually get rid of some of these reeds. Okay. But I don't think that these fit the best. Might also need to delete some of these. In hopes to get it correct. Still too much. Because you really don't want to be having unhappy buffaloes about the coverage. And I know some people say that it won't really matter that much, but I personally think that it's at most importance that the animal is feeling 100%. I am sweating like crazy, by the way, in my room. It's a little bit like the African climate, I won't lie, in here, because I have put my ventilation off just to record this video. Because normally there would be a fan blowing at me right now. But yeah, I put it off just for the recording, that it doesn't screw up the whole audio. And I'm sweating like crazy. But it's all worth it. It's all worth it for this animal. Been really looking forward to make this build, even though I didn't expect it. It has happened. So yeah, they are noisy. That is a certainty. Come on, guys, please just work with me here for a second. Oh my! Really? So I'm gonna need to cut into these as well. It looked so cool. Alright, this is 90%. Okay, like one more maybe. And now it will be perfect, hopefully. 92, come on! $95. $97. Just delete this one then. 99. Oh my. 100. Okay, perfect. And that's the maximum that we can do for these guys. Okay, that's perfect. Now let's see for the enrichments. Food enrichments, a grazing bowl, which I will put right over here. Grazing feeder, which we will put right over there. And then a long barrel feeder. We will put that one over here. And we need more. Don't worry, we need more. Oh, someone is in the shade over here. You're smart. Put another barrel there. And then we'll put another one right over here. 80. Alright. Toys. A grab ball, of course. Herbivore scent maker, which I mostly put right in front of their home thingy. A large ball. That is actually going to be really nice to see them play with that. It's a large snowball. Don't really need to. A mud bath. That is going to be a great asset of this. So let's see. Is it possible? Yes, it is. However, I'm going to need to sculpture this so this water just needs to go for a second. So that this looks perfectly fine. Just cancel that for a second and then get this a little bit like that. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. As long as the mud bot is that's accessible. This is accessible. Perfect. And then I can still get water in here. There we go. Nice. Now a rubbing pillar. Where will I put the rubbing pillar? I guess just over there then. Scratching tree. I can actually place this over there. Then I'll just move the ball out of the way a little bit. Up next is another scratching tree. But, you know, I made a lot of room for this one, so it should be fine. That is also accessible, and it does not make the mountain look too annoyed, so that's good. Like that. Because sometimes with these scratching trees, they really take in a lot of space of the enclosure. Alright, a skittle. That's typical for these kind of animals, and I honestly really like it, so we're gonna place that over here. And then we have a snowman, which doesn't really matter that much. Climbable, of course, nothing, so without further ado, that is the enclosure. Yeah. I do want to place this tree over, maybe over here, I guess. I also don't think that this one really fits. Let's see if I can find a better one. Because now they're honestly gonna be having some more. So I don't know if you can find maybe a better one, like a baobab maybe. A baobab is really nice, but it's gonna be really big, so they're not gonna like that too much. So maybe we could see this. It's more like deserty. No, not what I'm looking for. That is pretty decent. We could go for that one. Sausage tree. That is grassland African. Does this fit them more? I mean, it is tropical and grassland from Africa, so I would say leave it be. And then this will be the habitat. Hope you guys like the look of it. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. One thing that I want to do, traversable area. They can pretty much walk everywhere. This should be accessible. Yeah, they've even already used it. This is accessible because they already used it. This should be accessible. Uses one already. They're really using everything. Not used, but it should be accessible. The ball has not been used. However, they do seem to want to play with it, so that's good. But it was interest at least. Scratching tree should be available or accessible, I should say. Thinking of putting the ball maybe somewhere else, but don't really see a good spot for that unless I put it here. Nah, let's keep the ball over there. Don't know if you guys can actually hear me over there, loud noise. Alright, let's see, one more check. Everything good? No, they need a little bit more long grass. Alright, that should be fine. That's good enough. They have enough water, they have enough space, everything looks decent on that. Have enough enrichments. Alright, that's good enough. Okay, then without further ado guys, we're gonna get into the montage. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and then I will see you all in the next one. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and then next video will also be, nah, not really an African animal, it's more a variety animal. It's in different continents. More on that later in the next video. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.